We are the Girls Who Gab. I'm Kassie.
And I'm Bayley.
And today's episode, we are talking about my very first pregnancy and the first, almost 20 weeks. I'm 19 and a half weeks.
Yeah, same thing.
Basically the first
half. That's insane.
It goes by so fast. What the hell?
This episode is happening.
Yeah,
oh my
it's
gosh.
so crazy.
It is so surreal.
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
Oh, I'm drinking a fake wine. It's called, it's a de-alcoholized wine, and it's a Chardonnay. I don't remember the brand. St. Regis, maybe? It's the one I have been trying, this brand called Free, like alcohol-free. It's called F-R-E with, like, a line on over the E. And that one's pretty good. And then this one I tried for the first time today. So it tastes like a Chardonnay.
It's decent.
It's pretty good, which is good because this was not the cheapest of the options. Oh. But I just wanted to try.
You are so funny that you want wine so bad that you buy these free alcohol.
Okay, we'll get to this.
She asked me to try it, and I was like,
maybe
I'm
not.
good. I don't like wine in general, though, so that's why I'm not as, pumped to give it a go.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, I am drinking wine. I had the rest of, so you texted me that you wanted to bring yours and you were warning me just in case I wanted to drink too, and I just so happened to have the rest of my bottle.
Yeah. And when she says she's drinking wine, she's drinking Stella Rosa. So so for the wine drinkers out here, it's not wine.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But for somebody who can't drink alcohol, it's wine.
Semi-sweet. Not even semi-sweet.
No, it's sweet.
Yeah. Whatever. It's fine. Anyways, I'm enjoying that, and I work in a few hours.
It's fine.
It's like the last 20% of the bottle.
Yeah, and Stella Rosa has a pretty low alcohol content, so you're good. Pour one out. Cheers to that.
Yeah. Okay, my pour one out is that work has kind of been just hilarious to me. I just feel like there was a time when, so my mother-in-law no longer lives with us, right? She left about a week ago now. So we got a nanny, and thankfully we found a nanny. So that's actually my cheers to that. Really the timing of it, and I'll go into that for that topic. But so it's just been funny because the whole time that my mother-in-law was here, my work isn't open during the morning. So like if there ever was like a morning banquet or something, because I'm a captain, they always ask me if I can do it.
Yeah.
I was always willing. My mother-in-law lives here, and like she was always helping out in the most ways,
Absolutely.
Exactly. Well, it just so happened that she leaves, and now my manager is just scheduling me all these mornings
without talking
without asking me, and I'm like, wait, no, but I actually can't. So I told him that. I went to go approach him. I was like, hi, I can't do these days. And there was 3 days. He actually asked me to work today too, and I was like, cannot, no. And he was like, I don't understand. She needs to come back. What brings her to Mexico?
Doesn't.
And I was he was like, what brings her to Mexico? I was like, well, her family's all there. Well, they can all move. You get a big house, they can come move with you. And I was like, geez. It was really funny. And then I told him about one more day. I said, okay, but no, really, I can't, you need to fix this because it's still on my schedule and I'm not coming in. And he was like, that's it, you're on my shit list now. And I was like, okay, good talk, thank you, bye.
I remember, because obviously I was going to school and I was serving for the most part. There was only a couple of years where I wasn't. And so I had days no.
Yeah.
Can't. And it was always really hard when the school schedule would first start, that first semester or the first week of the new semester, and I'm like, hi. Remember how I used to be able to do all of the days, and now the schedule's out for the semester, and no.
I can no longer.
And I would always do it the right way. As soon as I get the schedule, you give it to the manager, and it just you fall between the cracks sometimes.
Absolutely.
It's totally fine.
Yeah.
But there were definitely times where I'm like, hi,
no. And that's where I'm at. I'm like, I'm sorry. You can ask me, and I can see if I can do it.
Yeah.
It just so happens that these 4 shifts that I got scheduled mornings, one of them I was able to do. I had to leave early, though. But the other 3, today, this coming Tuesday, and next Friday, I was like, I can't. So, but in the future, ask me, and I can see if my nanny can. It just so happens that this week wasn't a good week for her either. So it's like, you know what I mean?
It was just, bad timing. And you're getting into the new it's all new because
Right.
your mother-in-law just left, so that means he's learning your new schedule.
Right.
You just got this new nanny too, so she's still like maybe finishing up some past stuff that she agreed to do or whatever it is.
Exactly.
And so they'll transition stuff.
Yeah, he's
It's
just
always
gonna.
rough.
I just don't say no. You know what I mean? They're like,
Yeah.
help. I'm like, when, where, how? You know what I mean? Like that's just so my personality in general, and so it's just a flip for him to be like he expects to ask me it, but he already knows the answer. You know what I mean? So for me to say no, he's like, oh, I didn't expect that. What?
Yeah, there's no other option. Hold on. What do I do now?
Exactly. So that's my pour one out. It's just
an understandable one.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
I feel bad.
all the change too.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my pour one out is also work related. It was just a hard week. Like, my work tends to be pretty easygoing. Like, it's not a very hard job. I'm a receptionist, so like I schedule appointments. It's kind of like playing Tetris. Honestly, it's like very mind numbing. It's not hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, customer facing, just like you are, or like public facing. So like you're gonna get people who call and are annoying and or serve and at their tables sometimes are annoying. Either way, like whatever it is, it's the name of the game with customer service.
Yeah.
That's fine. It just so happened that this week we had quite a few people call in that were very rude. And then we also had a long weekend last weekend. So then it was like a catch up week because whenever we have a day off, then like the following day is really busy. Mm-hmm. And we also had like an emergent case that we had to deal with this week. So it was just like, this is too much for me. Like, can we not?
Yeah.
Oh, but my cheers to that is also work related, which I'll get into after you.
No, you roll right into it. No,
roll right into it?
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, the one good thing that was work related that did happen is that I have a job interview for a promotion.
She's hiding the fact that she's really nervous and, like, very
I'm
scared.
stressed. I, like, had a panic attack. Okay, so, like, let's tell this story. So, our deputy chief, so, like, the vice principal of the CEO, right? She's like a very like down to earth normal lady, and she eats lunch with us on a regular basis at our lunch hour. And it's not that weird. And some of the things that she also does along with being deputy chief is she runs our like small health department thing that we do, which is a nonprofit thing. And then she also is like the head person of our branch that's from EDD. EDD is like a general government thing, but our nonprofit also works with a partnership with EDD where our staff work for EDD. It's like a double. Like they're technically our employees, but they're doing the job of an EDD. And they're in the different offices of EDD in certain locations. And she's like the head of that branch of our nonprofit. So, one of the things that our EDD section does is we have interpreters that go because I work with the deaf. So like that's what our nonprofit is focused on. There's a bunch of interpreters. That's what I want to do in my life. In case you haven't watched or listened to any of our previous episodes, I've talked about that before. I want to be an interpreter. I'm like almost done with all of the education for that. I graduated my program, but then you still have to take this like fancy exam. It's very expensive and hard to pass. So I'm planning on taking that by the end of this year, ideally next month, so that if I don't pass it, then I still have a few months before I give birth so that I can try to take a different version of that same exam. So we're all eating lunch together, and the deputy chief asks like, off topic, but have you ever thought about becoming an interpreter? And I'm like, oh, well, yes, I finished my program, I graduated, and I'm planning on taking the exam next month. And she's like, oh. And so she starts asking me, like, my educational background, where did I graduate, do I have a BA, like, all of these things, because there's a bunch of different avenues to go about this education system. And so she brings up this EDD position that has been open for a few months, and she's like, I was just thinking, like, we might be able to use you basically as a substitute, like, at times. And so then our other employee that is one of the people that I make his appointments for, he also used to work at EDD as in the position that would be, if I get this job, the immediate boss. We're all having this conversation. So then he reaches out to me, like, after lunch is over, we're not talking about it anymore, and he's like, hey, you should apply. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not technically qualified. It requires this exam that I haven't taken yet. You have to have passed it. And he's like, they usually give you a 6-month leeway. You should talk to the deputy chief and see if that's still true. And I was like, okay. So then I did, and I said, like, hey, I was looking at that job. I am planning on taking the exam soon, but I'm not qualified yet. Or certified.
Like, what do you think?
Like what's
does that mean?
You know, should I wait, kind of. And just like I'd like you to know to keep me in mind. She was like, oh no, go ahead and apply. We give you a 6-month leeway. And I'm like, okay.
I just got the chills for you. It's so exciting.
Yeah, so I did. I applied. And because it's an internal promotion for me, I didn't have to like apply generally on the website. I like went straight to HR and let them know that I'm looking at this. I sent over my resume, my references, my cover letter, and then within freaking 24 hours, so like I sent in everything, and then the next day the deputy chief came up to me at my desk and was like, "Hey, just letting you know that the guy that would be my immediate boss and the like guy that's directly under her are both looking at your resume and everything today." And I'm like, okay, why did you tell me that?
Oh no, yeah, I would not like that. I don't want to know.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, thank you. Cool. And then the next day, HR reached out to me and said, hi, we're going to set up an interview. Like, you need to talk to my immediate boss right now because I have to take an hour off of work. In order to do the interview. So she was like, talk to her and see what day works best between these options. And so now I have a job interview on Tuesday, and I'm like, holy shit. I'm excited because it also, not only would it mean like I'm officially doing the job I want to do, like I want to be an interpreter. It's not necessarily in the exact field that like in the future I would like to be in, but still great experience. It's a great first start. It still gives me all the benefits too. Yeah, because a lot of interpreters are freelance, so it means that I get to keep all of the benefits that I have right now, which is perfect because obviously pregnancy, haha.
Right.
I want to keep all of those. Plus, I like working for this nonprofit. Like, it's giving me a lot of connections. It's giving me a lot. On top of all of that, it would shorten my commute by half. Yeah. If I get it. So that would be really exciting. Just for location alone.
Right.
So.
And your time. Now that you're going to have a family, you know what I mean? Like, time is important.
Yeah, exactly. Like, because one of the things I've been worried about, because I do really like the job I have. It's relatively easy, and it's giving me a lot of skill set for what I want to do in the future for interpreting. But it is a long commute, which right now doesn't really bother me, but like I can't help but consider the fact that like when I have a baby at home that I want to spend time with, am I gonna like doing this?
Yeah, right.
So if I can get into this my big brain.
Oh, I'm so anxious. I can't wait to hear all about it.
I'm so stressed.
You have so much going on in the next couple of weeks.
Oh my god, I know. I tweeted the other day. I was like, me, doesn't like any change. Also me. Let's just try to change every aspect of my life all at once. Why not?
That's a good tweet. Good job. Go you.
I don't know why I'm doing this. Oh, and I'm officially getting the house. So, like, I'm moving cities. I'm moving, obviously, into a whole house. Doing the job thing.
Way bigger square footage than what you're on now. So,
God, I'm like, what am I even going to do with that? And then, obviously, having a kid.
Yeah.
The big one. The big change.
Yeah. I don't know. House is a pretty big change, too.
The house, yeah.
But, yes, the babes.
At least we don't own the house, though. So, like, it's not that change. Because I feel like between renting to owning is, like, a huge step because all of a sudden you're the one responsible for anything that could go wrong.
Right. Absolutely.
Whereas, like, we still have a landlord. So, like, if our shit breaks, we don't need to know how to fix it.
I know. It's definitely, like, that's something that Andre always, complains. But he's just like, it just sucks. Like, before we would have an ant problem in the apartment around summertime, and we would call someone and they would come out and fix the problem. Or we had a broken washer and dryer. They came out, literally got us a whole brand new washer and dryer. Like, if shit goes down here, like, we have to pay for it out of our own pocket. It's not ideal, but it's fine.
Yeah. It's definitely, like, pros and cons of renting versus owning. So, even though we are moving into a house, which will be a lot of change, and, like, literally, what are we going to do with all of this space?
I know.
But at the same time,
you're going to spend a fortune trying to furnish that house.
Dude, we're, like, pulling out of our savings for a lot of stuff right now because we just know, not only is, like, you know, we would pull out of our savings for the deposit and, like, all of that. The moving costs, like, we decided to get movers this time and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, it's an expense to begin with. And then also, like, we need, you know, a kitchen table. We had to buy a washer and dryer. We also need, like, the things for the baby room.
But baby room.
We did have to. We already had the fridge. So that was nice.
But a lot of things. Yeah. Dang.
What's your cheers to that?
Well, so, you know, I had one It was about the nanny. We're just going to pass over that, actually. Because my cheers to that is that I get to plan your gender reveal, and I'm so excited about it. That's it. And cheers. Like, that's it. There's no really, like, explaining because, like,
you don't
nothing's happened yet.
Yeah,
and I
you don't
can't talk about it.
Like, the planning
but, like,
part.
I'm really excited.
Yeah, so it's not, like, a big gender reveal. I'm not doing, like, an actual party. We're just going to go to dinner with, like, my immediate family, which is kind of big because I've got divorced parents. And then, like, you guys and my other close friend.
Close friends.
That's it.
Yeah. I know. I'm so excited. Kassie and Matt are going to find out the gender together. And so that'll be, like, one whole week prior to the actual dinner.
On Monday.
And so, yeah.
The day that this video comes out, we will know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what? Okay, so that's super exciting, and then I'll find out, and it's just gonna be so much fun. And then everyone else will find out at the dinner. But yeah.
Yeah. So like I'm gonna tell you and Sierra the day that we find out. I'm most likely because I can't keep my mouth shut, so I need to have somebody to tell. So
do not go further than us.
No. Well, Matt is gonna be able to tell Justin and Rachel.
Yes.
And then that's going to be where it ends. And then on the day of the reveal, I'll probably do some phone calls
well,
at
also
the dinner
prior
too.
to the dinner, you said you and Matt are going to take the actual revealing photo or like little video clips or whatever.
Yeah.
And you'll send it.
Yeah, we haven't decided exactly how we're going to tell, like, because, like, my grandma, so all of the grandmas, actually, there's a million of them because I have divorced parents. So, like, the grandmas, I probably will call instead of just send the video.
Yeah, okay. That's
and then and then Matt's mom too, which we might tell her also ahead of time and just tell her like don't post anything until you see us post something.
Okay.
But we feel pretty confident she does good with secrets. We told her that we were pregnant very early too.
Okay.
And she was able to,
keep it
she doesn't tell anyone. Yeah. So, like, some of his family might know because obviously they're not coming to the dinner because they all live far.
Right.
So, like, his brother, too, will probably find out first.
Right.
Before the technical dinner.
Just don't spill it to anybody that is
going at the dinner. I know my mom, oh my gosh, my mom was like, I get to find out, though, right away, right? And I'm like, no. You get to find out at the dinner.
I think I remember you telling me this.
Yeah. And she was like, but I'm the mom. And I'm like, I'm the mom. And she was like, yes, but I birthed you. You came out of my vagina, so that means I get to know things. I get to keep secrets for you. And I'm like, no.
That's not how this works. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm like, sorry. No.
Oh, your mom. Yeah. She's probably still going to pry. Like, try to pry so hard.
I think I'm going to lie and tell her,
you're going to be tested.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I almost wanted to tell her, like...
Tell her the opposite gender, and then, oh my god.
Oh, no. I thought about telling her that, like, we couldn't find out, but we're doing another ultrasound on the 20th, so we'll find out before the dinner.
We could do that.
I almost thought about doing that.
That's a solid white lie.
Yeah. And then telling her the truth later.
I
did know for a week.
Yeah.
I don't know. She can tell when I'm lying really well, though, so I don't know if I'll get away with it.
Even over phone?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, oh.
She can usually tell, so we'll see.
It's because you don't lie and you don't hold things and keep things from people.
No.
I'm an open spew book. Everything.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I personally don't see it as a fault, except for when it's exciting secrets.
Yeah.
But, you can trust me.
Yeah. I know.
You can trust because I can keep other people's secrets fine. I just can't keep my own
because like you're excited about it.
Yeah. And like there's nothing that like I've ever wanted to specifically keep a secret.
Right.
You know.
Right. Yeah.
So like, yeah, I'll tell you if you ask.
Yeah.
Especially if you ask. Let alone if I'm excited about it. But like if you ask me something directly and like. I'll give you the answer.
Why am I keeping it? Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like I'm not a private person. That's why I'm online everywhere. Anyways. So.
Yeah. Anyways, that's what cheers to that.
Moving straight on.
I'm really excited.
Sharing all of the things.
Let's do this.
Okay.
So, I mean, today's episode, did you already go over that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Today's episode, first 20 weeks.
Yeah.
So, I guess, okay, so I'll start with
how was your first, so you're now in your second trimester, obviously. Yeah. You're halfway through. So
first trimester.
How was your first trimester? Did you get the worst of the worst? Did you not get anything?
Yeah. So it was overall a relatively easy first trimester compared to stories that I hear.
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
I didn't have a lot of I didn't really have any nausea except for like really early on I had a little bit at like 6 weeks, and then it kind of went away. My biggest symptom was I was really tired, which, like, still is kind of true, but not to the extent it was.
Like fatigue tired, like your whole body, or you just want to sleep? Or, like, was your body out of it as well? Do you know what I mean? Like, your muscles, could you feel it? Because I was super fatigued.
I feel like both. Okay. Yeah, because, like, I was sleeping, like, 10 hours and still could go to sleep. Like, I still felt like I could definitely take a nap right now.
Okay, got it.
After waking up. So, like, tired. And then, yeah, I like the idea of, and I'm a pretty, like, workout person, you know, I'm pretty exercise oriented, and just no.
It's non-existent right now.
None. 0.
Oh, man.
My doctor asked me if I exercised the last time I went in, and I was like, yeah. 3 times a week. Talk about lying. I'm like, let me lie to my physician.
I'm going back.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I go on walks.
Oh, cheese and rice.
I just go on a walk from my apartment down to the mailbox.
I was thinking, or for some food.
She didn't ask the specifics.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, yes, first trimester, very exhausted.
Okay.
Both like needing to sleep a lot more, and then like I didn't have a lot of energy for like things like activities of any sort. I was like,
doesn't sound
let me just binge watch some TV.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Right.
Like, that sounds like enough work.
A good time.
I also, like, stopped filming and stuff, too, for my YouTube channel, which was because I wasn't reading, but also because, like, I didn't feel like doing anything.
Right.
Like, so I think it all kind of wraps into that same, like, I was just tired.
Right.
Fatigued. Whatever.
Yeah.
Word. But had no energy to do any of that.
Yeah.
So that was probably, like, the biggest symptom. And then, like, cravings. In my first trimester, I didn't really have anything I was opposed to, but I, like, wanted sweet cereal. Like,
what? Like, what? Which one?
Like, I wanted Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles.
Cocoa Pebbles?
Yeah, Cocoa Pebbles or Cocoa Krispies, whatever they're called.
Right, all the same thing.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
It's my jam.
Yeah, like, any of it. Fruit Loops. All the sugary cereal. And, like, I don't usually eat sugary cereal.
Yeah.
In the morning, I tend to be a savory person over sweets just because I feel like it gives me a better energy.
Start to your day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I agree. I can't really do sweets in the morning, except for my coffee, because...
Oh, and I didn't drink coffee for a while during my first trimester, but not out of choice. It was because it tasted gross.
Okay, that was my question.
Yeah.
So did you do any... Because I know you get bad migraines, too, so when you don't get your caffeine, so did you drink tea instead?
I was doing Arbonne Fizzes for a little bit.
Okay.
Which is significantly less caffeine than coffee.
Yes.
But I didn't have any issues. I haven't had a migraine since I've been pregnant, which has been crazy because I usually get migraines like,
often.
Yeah, like at least once a month.
Yeah.
But I haven't had one. I had the one that was like the start of one, and then I drank some caffeine, and it went away.
Okay. Probably just needed that fix. It wasn't like your
and it was during the
migraines.
Time period when like I hadn't quite figured out like I wasn't drinking coffee, but I hadn't figured out something else to drink yet, and so it was probably a caffeine related headache. So like I figured out that I thought I was having like caffeine related migraines, so I started drinking the fizz, and that fixed the issue. Okay. And that lasted for like probably at least a month, where I didn't drink any coffee. I could drink like frappuccinos from Starbucks, which have a lower caffeine content also.
Right.
But I just couldn't drink like coffee.
A cup of an 8-ounce coffee.
Ugh, yeah, it tasted gross. Now I can, but at the time couldn't. What else in the first trimester? Okay, so like obviously I had a miscarriage in February. So I thought that I would be a lot more nervous for the entirety of the first trimester than I actually was. So I was, if you can hear Isaiah, it's Isaiah. So I was really anxious until I got that first ultrasound at like almost 9 weeks.
Yeah.
And that part was like super, I was just like, who the hell knows?
It helped calm you. And
then, that ultrasound, I was like, okay, we saw it moving, we saw the heart flickering, like, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good. And then we'll get into more of the second trimester later. But, yeah, I anticipated being a lot more anxious than I actually was, which was good. Because it was nice to not be as, like,
have that feeling. Because I remember you were always like, this isn't real. And, like...
Oh, yeah. It felt very surreal.
Yeah.
I think maybe it was because of the miscarriage. Maybe it's just my personality. I don't know.
I think all the above. I think it was the fact that you experienced a miscarriage and then you tried for a long time and still nothing. The fact that it's your first child and just like all and a pandemic going on. So it's just like all of it together. It's just like,
Yeah.
What
Plus,
is
like,
what?
I've been obsessed with the idea of pregnancy and other people's birth stories and labor stories and, like, pregnancy stories and all this stuff for a really, really long time. Like, I was obsessed with this in high school.
Yeah.
This was, like, just something that I was very interested in. I took a lot of, like, classes that were not required for funsies in college about it and stuff.
Right.
And so then just the fact that, like, I've had all of these, plus, like, obviously you've had kids, and, like, I've had other friends that have kids, so I'm surrounded by it, and I know I've wanted it, but, like, it hasn't happened to me before, obviously. And so then going through the actual experience has just been very, like, almost out of body. Like, this is very, like, this is not something that happens to me. This is something that I hear about from other people.
Right.
So it's been a very, like, weird adjustment. And I feel like it's barely only now starting to kind of sink in that this is, like, my life.
Right.
Not just a story that I'm reading about or, like, vlogs that I'm watching or something, but it's, like, me.
It's happening to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
You're
like
firsthand experiencing it now versus...
Yes. Yeah. And I feel like, again, that's more of, like, a second trimester thing that happened now that it's, like, settling in. But especially that first trimester, it's like... What do you mean? Why are you asking me how I'm feeling?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm fine. I don't know.
It's like for a split moment, you're like, oh, yeah.
Excuse you.
I swear it was my son. yeah, that's,
That's very bizarre.
Well,
yeah.
at
So
least
that's
you're
like the first
feeling more.
trimester, I think.
Yeah.
Overall. And then this so far in the second trimester, I started using a baby Doppler, which was really nice because even though going back to that, like, I anticipated being really anxious for the entire first trimester. I had that ultrasound, and then I was like, okay, I'm calm. Mm-hmm. And then I had an 11-week ultrasound, too, and I was like, great, awesome. Yeah. Everything's going the right way. There's no issues. Everything is fine. Like, I feel great, whatever. And then in the second trimester so far, I feel like I've gotten more anxious.
Again?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, like... It's very weird. There's been quite a few times where I wake up in the morning and I'm like, interesting, must not be pregnant today. Like...
Like what? Give me an example.
Like... Okay, so, like, I've been able to feel the baby moving for a couple weeks, like 2 weeks.
Okay.
It was, like, around week 17, and I'm almost done with week 19.
Okay.
And the baby doesn't move all the time.
Right.
It's, like, still pretty rare. Yeah, so it's, like, and now as the longer it goes, the more it's, like, oh, this time I usually feel.
Right.
Yeah.
Certain activities and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So there's been just a couple times where I wake up and I'm, like, haven't felt the baby move, so it must not be
real.
It's not even, like, I think the baby has, like, died. It's, like, I don't think it's there anymore. Which is obviously a mental thing, not a real thing. So then I grabbed the Doppler and I put it on, and then I'm like, okay, there's a heartbeat.
But I like that you do that.
It's nice
like
to,
a
like...
nice ritual.
Yeah. I don't do it every
Calm
day,
your
too. It doesn't
senses.
happen all the time.
Well, no, but, like,
but when I get that, like, weird...
Mindfuck.
Why am I feeling that? Yeah, like, it's so bizarre. So that's happened a few times, like, or relatively regularly in the last, like, few weeks.
Yeah. Maybe because you're finally at a point in the pregnancy where, like, you're showing. And so, like, in the beginning, obviously, there's no... I mean, and for you, especially with how your pregnancy went the first trimester, you really didn't have much symptoms. You don't show it all, obviously. So, like, at first, everyone has that mindset. Well, like, am I pregnant? You know, until you hit that 9 weeks.
Yeah, and I'm like,
thing.
I'm not nauseous, so, like,
Exactly.
maybe I'm not.
So
I don't know.
And what am I feeling or what's happening with my body or whatever. So you get that mind... trip.
So it's, like, weird
and now
to
you're
me.
showing. So, like, your mind's like, oh, wait, no, I am. But, like, am I? But, like, you know what I mean?
Really bizarre.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that it's, like, my mind just so easily, like, switches and is like, probably not today. I don't know.
Oh, my gosh.
It's
I
so
can't
bizarre.
handle you.
Yeah, I feel like the more that I feel the kicks happening now, and, like, obviously I am, like, showing now.
Yeah.
I feel like it happened
I
like
touched
in a week.
their skin today. I'm
Yeah.
excited.
It's so weird. So like as that happens, I'm like, okay, like clearly I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
there's physical things happening that I'm like my mental can attach to.
Mm-hmm.
There's not as much disconnect as when earlier.
Right.
It was like there's no physical proof either.
Change. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's.
I mean, have you
very
seen
weird.
your boobs?
Well, yeah, my boobs are great. My boobs are fantastic, except they're really sore. That was another symptom that happened early on too, like around 9 weeks. My boobs were so sore and have been since.
Yeah.
That I can't not wear a bra, like something to bed.
You need support, like good support.
Yes, or I wake up in the middle of the night because they hurt.
Like in pain. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's another one that has happened.
Yeah.
Oh, another reason that I think sometimes I like suddenly am like must not be pregnant anymore is because everyone always talks about how you need to pee all the time. Like everyone's got to pee all the time and there's so much urine and like it's just a pee fest. And like that doesn't happen to me all the time. It's like still I mean
like normal? Like you're normal?
Pretty normal. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and have to pee, which is abnormal for me.
Yeah.
But like my pee schedule's pretty similar to what it was before. It's like not very different.
I mean, that'll definitely
escalate. I think it'll change.
Yeah, because I had that even since the beginning. It changed for me, so that's interesting.
Okay, so
that's like sometimes how people know that they're pregnant.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. So interesting enough, it did change initially.
Okay.
And then it kind of like settled and like evened out. And now maybe I'm just misremembering because it was different at first when I was pregnant, and then now it's not that different.
Okay.
So maybe I'm misremembering on what pre to now is.
I got you.
But like, it doesn't seem that different. I don't know.
My goodness.
I will say that one of the differences is if I do not pee before I leave work, I have to pee. I cannot say hello to Matt. I have to go directly to the bathroom or I will pee my pants. Or I feel like I'm going to pee my pants.
Right. You're on the verge.
Yeah, so like, I mean, clearly there is actually something going on.
Right.
But it just doesn't seem like, maybe it's because I just expected it to be even worse because everyone talks about having to pee all the time.
Maybe. You're like, oh, this isn't that bad.
Yeah. So maybe it's more of, again, a mental thing. I don't know.
See, I hated it because, and I was so annoyed with the fact that I always had to go pee because, like, I mean, not that holding your pee is not good for you or your bladder, but, like, I was good at it and I could go hours without peeing. Or,
I never peed at work.
Yeah,
before.
like, I could do that. Exactly. And that's, like, 8 hours sometimes and I'm totally good. And, no.
And now, that's true. Definitely can't do that. But I'm also, like, in this last couple years when I, like, got more into, like, exercise and stuff, I also changed my habit of, like, water intake.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that a couple years ago was a big change.
It. Yeah, absolutely.
So, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just, like I said, maybe it's just more of, like, I expected it to be much more different.
Much greater. Mm-hmm. That's funny.
What else? Oh, wine. Okay, so I've been drinking the fake wine, right? So
she's obsessed.
When I got pregnant, did not think that I would miss drinking any alcohol as much as I do. There are other things.
I don't know what you were thinking.
But, like, I've done, like, sober months before. Like, and just done it for funsies.
That's for a month, and you know that it's for funsies, and you can easily pick up a glass of wine. Here, you're not. And you can't even! You took a drink of my Angry Orchard 2 weeks ago.
Today.
I could have gone without knowing that, but you're ridiculous.
That's fine. I'm not, like, scared. Okay. I'm not, like, scared to take a sip of wine, because it's not going to do anything.
Right.
It's not dangerous. It's not that I, like, I just didn't think I would, like, crave it the way that I crave it. I guess. It's not so much that because, like, there's a social aspect to drinking.
Right.
And, like, Matt's a drinker. My family is all drinkers. I knew that there would be a social aspect of it, which is I found a couple different, like, mixed drink versions, like virgin, obviously, things. And I've been trying out, like, different types of just, like, tasty, non-alcoholic drinks.
Right.
To kind of see, like, because normally my normal is just, like, water, a coffee in the morning, maybe a soda every once in a while, and then alcohol.
And then, yeah.
I obviously can't drink alcohol. So I'm like,
Right.
maybe it's just that I don't have anything to drink that's not water.
Right.
Okay, so I've been trying to do that. That's not what I miss. So then I found out that they have fake wine, just like they have fake beer. Because I don't like beer. I was like, ew, why do they have fake beer but they don't have fake wine? Except that they do. I just didn't know that.
You just didn't you didn't ever have to investigate it.
Well, and
now,
like, restaurants usually serve, like, O'Doul's or whatever, like a 0% beer.
Heineken 0.0,
Yeah, they often will serve one of that, something. A lot of restaurants do.
Yeah.
I've never seen a 0 alcohol percent wine on a menu before.
You're right.
Yeah, so, like, I've been trying these out, which has been really nice because then it's like, for example, I went to, like, a wine night last night with my 2 friends. Well, with my friend and her friend. And, like, the point of the night is they drink wine. They usually make a charcuterie board or dinner or something. And then they watch, like, a crime documentary. And, like, I can bring over my fake wine.
Did you?
I totally did. I was like, I went and bought this wine specific. Like, I bought some wine specifically for last night. I was like, sweet, I'll go to the store.
Get some of this.
Yeah, so, like, it's been nice finding that because then I feel like I'm still, like, doing the same thing everyone else is doing.
You're not missing out on anything.
Yeah. It's been weird because, like, there's all these other things that you can't eat while you're pregnant, right? Like,
deli meat or certain fish
sushi
or
there's all of these things.
Raw meat,
And, like, I don't eat red meat, so that didn't bother me. But I do eat sushi, and I do like a turkey sandwich. And so there's all these other things that I feel like I just anticipated missing other things more than I would miss alcohol.
Right.
But, like, I really miss being able to order a margarita at
when you go out to anywhere. Yeah.
It's, like, very weird to me that I just can't just order. And I think it's because, like, I am a person who already, you know, will modify my food and whatever. But I've never really felt the need to, like, modify a margarita or whatever. So now I have to be like, can you make a margarita but virgin? And, like, some places can and some places can't.
Right.
And if it's a wine and beer only place, then, like,
then you can't do water. Okay.
Or, like, lemonade
Juice
or whatever.
Lemonade,
yeah. But, like, so it's just weird because maybe it's really, like, my ordering style, it has to be different. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I miss it a lot.
Oh, man, that's really funny.
And I don't miss getting drunk. Like, I don't miss feeling
you
tipsy.
do it you said it, for social.
Yeah.
And Matt drinks, so, like, you're always around people that drink socially with you. Not necessarily always get drunk.
Right.
But, like,
just, like, having
you
whatever
go out
at
and it's
dinner.
normal for you both to order a margarita or both a wine or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's been the biggest thing that I'm like, I can't wait.
I can't wait. Can I be with you when you drink for the first time?
I'm gonna have a party.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so ready? Ready to watch.
You got the baby good,
so I'm gonna be like, here's the baby to somebody, whoever it is.
I'm ready. I'm so ready. Dad across the street.
Yeah, exactly. We'll just have like a little dinner night or something, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Weird.
Yeah, I know. Dang.
So weird. But I think that's everything so far. Do you have any questions specifically?
No, I asked everything. I'm excited to see how the end because, I mean, things can change drastically. Ooh, one thing you didn't talk about, and we'll try not to make it too long because the kids, but your sciatica, right?
Yeah.
So that is something that has progressed with your pregnancy.
Yeah, I have pretty bad sciatica, especially on my right side. And it's been painful, like, pretty early on it started. And I don't know if it's because, again, like, I obviously was more into exercise and now I'm not really exercising at all. So I don't know if it's because, like, I'm not stretching it or something that made it worse faster. But that's been really bad. And then, like, constipation.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah. It's not, like, all the time. Like, I haven't gotten to the point where I'm, like, I'm uncomfortable because I've been constipated for a certain amount of time. But it's just, like, my cycle is different. My routine is off.
It throws you off. Yeah.
Or, like, it'll happen at a weird time of day. I used to be in the morning, almost pretty much immediately upon waking up, I get it out of the way, we're done, we're good for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
That's not the case anymore. Now it's, like, sometimes I gotta go at 10 a.m. in the middle of my work day. And I'm like, I guess this is the time.
Oh my god.
Like, luckily, I work with a lot of deaf people, so they can't hear me.
Oh my god. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What a great statement.
Yep. So yeah, those have been like the
But
main
that sucks.
two.
I hope your sciatica doesn't.
I'm hoping it doesn't get
We don't
worse.
know. I feel like.
I think it'll be here until.
Oh, it'll
after.
be there. It won't like vanish and be
I
gone,
did have.
but-
We have a friend of the family who is a chiropractor, and we were over at their place
About a week
this
ago now.
weekend.
Or,
Yeah. Last weekend. It was on Sunday last weekend. And my stepmom mentioned it to him, and he was like, "Oh, okay." And then he like walked inside and like did something with his dining room chairs, and then had me come in. I was like on the phone, and he's like, "Hey, come in here." And I was like, "Okay, maybe this, older gentleman needs some help with some technology. I don't know. Like, what are we doing?"
Oh my goodness.
What do you need?
Totally walked in not knowing what was about to
Yeah,
happen.
and he's like, "Come lay down." I'm like, "Oh, are you gonna adjust me?" It's not that weird. That sounded weird and creepy, but like he adjusts people like this all the time at parties. Somebody mentions like something weird is going on. He's like, "Okay," and then he like gets his shit together and puts you somewhere random. He's adjusted me like on our jacuzzi edge before.
Yeah.
Like he does that. So it's not that weird. It wasn't creepy. But I was like, okay. And so then, so he adjusted me and it helped for like 24 hours and then now it's back.
Yeah. Oh,
So like
shoot.
now I know though, if I did want to, I could go to the chiropractor on a regular basis
And it'll help
probably
you,
fix.
like once a week maybe or something.
But that sounds like an expense.
So it's like I'm the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what my insurance covers for chiropractor, but it's an option if it really does get bad.
If need be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dang.
So I'm curious to see how I'll do like when the belly starts getting bigger and like obviously you get more uncomfortable and like I'm just now at the point where like I can't bend over the same way and like
Right.
obviously you have to like adjust all of that, like all of the normal things you do in a day.
So easily done. It's not easy anymore.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see like how I handle that both like physically but also emotionally and mentally and stuff.
Right.
Because I know like Sierra struggled with that aspect of it, so
Yeah. Right.
yeah.
Dang.
We'll do another update.
Yeah,
sure.
no, for sure. Especially
Yeah.
once it gets closer. Yeah, because I want to know how it ends, you know?
And we'll do a labor and a
before
birth
the
and-
beginning.
Yeah, birth story.
That's exciting.
The fact that I'm gonna have a birth story.
I
is fucking
know. That's why I opened with, oh my gosh, this episode is happening. Like, it's so exciting.
It's weird.
Yeah, I'm done talking about my pregnancies. I want to talk about you.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
man. You have a quote?
I do, and
Alright.
it's like not really a quote. I just saw, so today, the day we're recording is 9/11. So all the feels out
20-year
there.
anniversary of
Yep.
9/11.
And so there's a lot going on social media right now, just posting and all this stuff. And I saw one, and it's like sad, and I guess that's it. Like it's just
Yeah.
sad. I don't know. So
But it
maybe it's not
also-
the best one for today, but I just feel like
It does.
It
I
connects.
feel like it does connect. We'll
Okay, so the
Give a little
quote,
talk.
like I said, I don't know if it's a quote. It's just it's a meme. It's a picture of the towers, and then it's above it with a flag, and it says, "The world you grew up in no longer exists." And it's like, I mean, the world I grew up in no longer exists. The world my parent, like every, of course, generation, it's gonna be different. But I feel like the most recent generation is experiencing things that no one has ever experienced. Like the amount of change in the time frame is just so unhealthy.
Yeah, I
Like,
feel like
there's
we're
so
all just
much.
like kind of being
Exactly.
thrown for a loop.
Before, it was so easy as, oh yeah, things were way different. Like, as in style, or as in the type of school that I went to, or like cars.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh no, things were different, like in a
Yeah.
bad way. And
Yeah.
it's like you don't
And
want
I
to talk about it. It's so sad.
Yeah. I feel like too a lot of times when we talk about like things were different, a lot of times it is like in progressive, like good things,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
differences in like racism, which it still exists. Don't get me wrong, like there's still work to be done, but comparing to the 1960s when we had Jim Crow laws in the South,
Right.
like it's a lot better than
Absolutely.
it was. So a lot of times we talk about it in like, look how far we've come, and yes, there's still work, but like there is, hope. I feel like right now in this exact moment, it feels almost like the opposite. So the fact that like you gave birth to your second child, your first son, during the pandemic, and me and Matt decided to start working on
Trying.
having a kid and pregnant during a pandemic. And obviously, like, a lot of people chose to do that. Having the feeling of, like, clearly we all, I think a lot of people, because, like, there are a lot of babies that were born this year. So I feel like there is hope in that, because if it was really going so detrimentally downhill, I don't think we would see this type of boom.
Yeah, you're
that
right.
we do see.
You're right.
So, like, I do think there's hope, but, like, there's also a recognition in that quote of, like, we might be raising our kids in a future that looks very different than what we anticipated.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. Which, to an extent, is, like, there's always going to be change.
I was going to say, no matter what,
that.
it is going to be different than what we're envisioning or what we currently live in.
Yeah.
It could be good, it could be bad, it could be both. But yeah, you just don't know.
And, like, our kids are going to need to figure out and learn and know how to handle when something bad happens. Like, our generation has lived through 9/11, which, granted, 9/11, although it was the largest thing to happen on our soil, in the grand scheme of history since we've been alive, there's way worse areas that have had, like, other detrimental things. So, like, it didn't affect me personally, is what I was trying to get at. Like, 9/11, I didn't know anyone or anything like that. Right. But still, like, being in that classroom that day and you know, having that be a part of my elementary school experience is crazy. And then we had the 2008, like, downturn with the economy, which affected a lot of people. It affected my parents. They lost a business, and there was, like, potential loss of, like, house and stuff for a while there. And so, like, we have gone through these things that I'm sure our parents didn't anticipate having kids through too.
Right, absolutely.
So, and there's plenty of other things in our history as well that you could go into, like, you know, 2 world wars. I mean,
just like you said, like, not on our soil. So,
yeah.
So I thought that was, like, a good thing.
I think it's
for it to end today's. You're pregnant. I just had my second kid. So, like, obviously we're going to be experiencing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And definitely, like, an important part of parenting, I think.
Absolutely.
Is not only looking at, like, the exciting, like, cool stuff.
Being aware of,
the,
like,
the unknowns, the potential scary.
Exactly.
All those things.
Yep, exactly.
So,
that's our episode for today.
Yes. If you're not yet, please hit subscribe on either our YouTube channel or wherever you listen to podcasts. If you're on Apple Podcasts, make sure to leave a review, give us 5 stars. It really helps out. And we try to post every other Monday. It doesn't always happen. Right now we're hitting about every 3 Mondays, so, like, better than it was a couple months ago. So we're still trying to get onto our routine, but
in the groove of things.
Yeah, we're working on it.
And you're about to throw in another kid.
So we're trying to get into it. You know, we're interrupted a lot by the children. We're gonna add a third. It's gonna be great. And happy Monday. Hope you're having a great week.
Yeah. Yep. Please.
And that's it.